Hi beautiful people, I'm back with another video. This video is about my journey to becoming a pescatarian, so let's get to it. For those who don't know, a pescatarian is a person who eats a fish-based diet. So they replace the meat protein in their diets with fish protein. Rather than eating, hamburgers, some chicken legs and some chicken wings and some pork chops and some sausages, you'll eat salmon, cod, and haddock. And that's typically what a pescatarian is. So I initially became a pescatarian. I did it as a 30-day challenge. So for the month of June, which started on the 1st of June, I did for 30 days. I ate no red meat, no chicken, no turkey, nothing of that nature. I ate mainly a fish-based diet. And I did it kind of like a detox. I kind of wanted to see whether or not I could live without meat. And I'm also been thinking more so of going towards maybe a vegetarian, possibly vegan diet. So this to me was the most natural transition that I would think, rather than just going from someone who eats meat to from someone who doesn't. So I decided this journey was the most appropriate journey for me, possibly changing my diet in its entirety. And I also wanted to see whether or not I could stick to it. I also wanted to see how easy it would be, and also what were the health benefits, if there were any, because in the media there's so many different news reports every at least once a week we get some kind of scientist, or there's been some research that has said now it's okay to eat so much of sugar and so much of saturated fats, and this is not good for you, and that's not good for you, and this is good for you, and this isn't good for you, and you just get to a point where you just feel like maybe I'll just drink water for the rest of my life and eat nothing else, because obviously that seems, but then again, water's filled with this, that and the other. So I decided basically to do it for 30 days and see how I got on. So initially I thought, well, I'm gonna tackle this from a different approach and try and overhaul my whole entire diet. So I'm going to try and eat as many different types of colors of foods than I normally eat in my day-to-day, in my old routine, should I say. So I decided to eat a lot more spinach, a lot more peppers, just anything that was colorful that I could bring into my diet. That's exactly how I tackled it. So I did it for 30 days, and I will insert some pictures here of the types of dishes that I ate and the types of meals that I ate. One of the main benefits of becoming a pescatarian for me has been the amount of energy that I had. Prior to becoming a pescatarian, I was very, very drained. I always felt sluggish after eating. I didn't feel so great. I always felt bloated. I just didn't feel like eating was helping me to get the energy that I needed. So for me, that was one of the major health benefits, was the increase in my energy. Also, the reduced in my bloating. I didn't feel as bloated as I normally do. That might also be the fact that I cut down on my carbs, but I would say it was more likely to do with the fact that I was no longer eating a heavy protein or meat. I was eating protein that was easy to digest. Another thing I found that was a health benefit was that I didn't feel like I felt lighter. Seems very strange, I know, but I actually felt like I was lighter on my feet. I didn't feel as I usually felt. So those were just some of the health benefits that I felt. Also, my hair felt better. My skin has been a lot better. My nails have grown. I mean, they're not as long as they possibly could because I've broken a few, but they are growing a lot better than they were previously. So that, those kind of health benefits in terms of like skin, hair and nails has been great. And the other benefits was I felt was my palate changed. So I didn't feel, I actually craved foods that I wouldn't probably normally eat. I wanted more fruit, I wanted more veg, which I would say is probably an increased health benefit. Yeah, I'd probably say that was a health benefit. So I wanted to eat more foods that I hadn't tried. I felt like stepping out of my comfort zone. Whereas I think in my previous diet, I just wanted to stick with the foods that I kind of was comfortable eating, which, you know, that's most people anyway. I also felt like I just felt better within myself. I just felt a lot healthier. I felt a lot better. My digestive system was a lot better than it was before. And I have struggled in the last few years with every time I ate at night or in the evening, I always felt sick sometimes afterwards. I'd go to bed because I felt ill. My stomach just felt like it probably wasn't digesting the food as great as I should be. So overall, I definitely felt a lot better. Becoming a pescatarian is very, very hard within itself, especially if you are surrounded by people, family members or friends who love meat. It can be the hardest thing in the world because, you know, you might go to one of those fast food restaurants and someone's tucking into a giant big burger and you're like, I can't have one of those. I'll just have a fish burger or a veggie burger, which isn't as exciting as a hamburger, but hey, you have to do what you have to do. But I suppose if you've got a supportive family, and friends, then yeah, they will support you along the way. You know, sometimes I've had to go to members of my family's house and they have been able to cook me a fish meal, or they will do fish, make the whole meal fish. That way then I don't kind of feel left out. So if you don't have a good support system, you will probably struggle a little bit because you will find that some people's attitudes to becoming a pescatarian is, oh, I mean, you know, just eat meat, oh, it's good for you, you can't cut it out completely out of your diet and and they will try to change your mind when you know in your hearts of hearts the reasons why you're doing it. So I would say, like any other diet, stand firm, stand strong, and don't let anybody persuade you if this is really what you want to do. Another thing I found difficult, and I use the term difficult lightly, there's a few obstacles along the way, was eating out. Depending on where you eat, obviously if you go to certain fast food restaurants, there isn't a lot for vegetarians or fish eaters, so you are kind of limited in your choices. Obviously Chinese restaurants, you can get a lot of vegetable dishes, you can get a lot of prawn dishes. I'm trying to think of other restaurants we've been to that hasn't been so great. I'm trying to think, I don't know, but there were a few instances where I couldn't really decide what I wanted to eat, so I probably went for the vegetarian option because the fish option didn't sound that great. And to be honest, most restaurants I seem to find when they do fish dishes, they're usually salmon, or maybe the occasional prawn, but nothing really outside of that range. There were a few days along the way where I have slightly slid off and I've had a piece of chicken, I'm not gonna lie. It has been 4 months, but I would say out of the 4 months, it's probably been maybe a full week out of those 4 months that I've probably eaten a meat dish. Again, I decided to start from this Monday fresh again just to cut it out completely. So this week I haven't eaten any form of chicken or any form of meat. I've literally just eaten vegetables and fish. One of the things I will say is obviously this diet can sometimes be a little bit pricey depending on the types of fish that you are buying, so just be mindful of that. Or if you're somewhere where you can't or don't have access to a lot of different types of fish, it can become just like a meat diet where again you get bored very easily. Now I'm going to give you my top tips for becoming a pescatarian, should I say. So tip number 1, I'm going to say this: plan your meals, because if you don't, you'll end up just slipping back, which has happened to me on occasions where I haven't planned ahead and there's been nothing really in the house to eat but some form of chicken or some form of meat, and I've had no choice but to eat it because I haven't had maybe enough vegetables to do some kind of vegetable dish, or I haven't had chickpeas or some kind of beans to do something else. So tip number 1 is to meal plan. Number 2, I would say, would be to try a variety of different fishes. Don't stick to your top 3 or your top 4, that your favorites. Try a variety of different types of fishes, and also try different meals. You might be used to preparing fish maybe once or twice a week and may prepare it always the same way all the time. Try a different way. I don't know, try to griddle pan it, put it in the oven, steam it, bake it, fry it, curry it, whatever. Try as many different ways to cook your fishes, because otherwise it will just be like eating meat again. You will get bored and you will probably slip back into eating meat again. And if you're really thinking about making that life change, it can feel like almost like when you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight and you have that second bar of chocolate. Yes, I said it, that second bar of chocolate. You will feel disappointed in yourself. So one thing I would say is definitely to try different types of fish. Tip 3 is to have as many tins of fish, as I said it, tins of fish in your cupboard. For those days where maybe you're rushing around and you might want to pick up some lunch and you don't know what to think, and the easy option is to pick up something quick and easy, or have, I don't know, a ham sandwich. Have some tin sardines, some tin mackerel, tin tuna. You can make a decent kind of salad with those. I tend to have some tin sardines and tin mackerel with some salad, squeeze a little lemon on top, and I'm pretty good to go, and that will keep me going for a good few hours until it's dinner time. So I will say definitely invest in your tin salad. And if you can hear my son in the background, this is the life of a YouTuber with a child. Sometimes you have children in the background and they're talking, even though they know you're filming. Tip 4, guys, is basically maybe not to eat fish for every single lunch and dinner meal that you have. Yes, I said it. Throw in a vegetarian meal every once in a while, and that way you won't get as bored with eating fish, maybe possibly for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Because some people might have some smoked salmon in the morning, in the afternoon they may have some mackerel or some tuna or something, and then in the evening they may have some salmon again. That to me is just way too much. I don't need that much. I'm quite happy to maybe have one for lunch, possibly have one for dinner, or have nothing for breakfast and nothing for lunch in terms of fish, and then just have some fish at the end of the day. And I must admit, it's been nice sometimes just having a, I don't know, a stir fry with no veg. That's not possible. A stir fry with no fish or no meat in it, and it's been nice because I actually feel a lot better for it. So overall, I have been a pescatarian for 4 months. I think it was one of the greatest things I could possibly do. I would recommend it for those who kind of want to change up their diet for a little while. I mean, if you choose to go back to meat, that's fine. But it's nice to have a little detox every now and then and try something new and open those palates. And I wouldn't say I would regret it. So, you may be asking, am I possibly going to become a vegetarian? That is in the pipelines, but right now I'm trying to get being a pescatarian under my belt, because right now it's very hard to do. I'm gonna see how I get on in the next 8 months, and I would say in 8 months time, if I'm ready to transition, what I might do is break it down in terms of my 7 days. Maybe for 3 days I'll eat fish, and for the remaining 4 I'll have just vegetarian meals, and then increase it to 5, 2, 6, 1, and then right into vegetarian. But that's something I'm still toying with. I will say, don't treat it as a chore. Don't get upset with yourself if you feel like a piece of chicken or a hamburger or a cheeseburger. It does happen. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect and I haven't had any meat. However, I have noticed a difference in how I feel. So for me, I do think going forward, I'm probably going to just stick on the pescatarian. If I can possibly become vegetarian, I will. And if I could, maybe vegan. But that again I think it takes a lot of time to research and understand and know what you can eat and what you can't eat, and preparing yourself. Because I think if you go into it not being prepared, you will get very frustrated, just like you would do with anything. You'd get very frustrated, and obviously with your diet, you don't want to be doing something that you feel is a chore. You kind of want it to feel natural, and you want to feel comfortable and okay with doing it. But saying that was great for me. Through the next coming weeks, I will try to do maybe what I eat in a typical day. I will film that, or I might show you maybe a couple of meals or things that I cook along my journey, or have cooked along my journey. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on how being a pescatarian is for me, whether I'm still a pescatarian, whether I've gone back over to the meat side. I will keep you guys informed. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of our content on this channel. If you would like to see my previous video, which is just here, if you just click here, that is my goals for my 34th year. Yes, I did a video on my birthday, but if you go along, if you click that link, it will, click it, watch it, you will understand exactly what I mean. So I will see you guys in the next video, and we will speak soon. Peace out, beautiful people. Take care.